This is one of the biggest political footballs and economic issues of our time. Hello, everyone. My name's Eric. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. The issue I'm talking about is schools and school choice. A lot of people don't look at school as an economic issue, but I'm going to go into an article that shows you it kind of is. And I also think it's one of the best ways you can make an impact in your community is advocating for free market competition. Anywhere there's not free market competition, anywhere there's lobbyists, and there's a ton of them in the education system, you're going to see distortions. You're going to see lack of the intent, which is to educate the youth. So let's take a look at this article here from the Epoch Times that kind of lays out um, what's going on in schools. And a lot of you have experienced this. I've experienced this in my own life. There's a lot of money making, there's a lot of virtue signaling. And when I say virtue signaling, I mean, hey, we're here to help. We're here to help you make the next step in life, like in college. And how is that working out for millennials? They went and got a degree that maybe is not applicable, and even if it is, they're $100,000 in debt. Obviously, that is an issue in their life, and it affects them economically for the rest of their life. They can't start a family, can't buy a house. At least it delays that process, and that starts in the education system below it, the public education system. I want you to think about teachers unions, and think about they're a public entity. They are employed by the public, and they have unions to fight for them. Imagine if there was a union in the US military, how that would work out. It wouldn't, is the point. And we spend enough money there as it is. But it would not work out well. Okay, so public sector unions are an epic fail on their face. I think they should be illegal. But this article points out some advocates for school choice. One of the people is this guy by the name of Fisher. Says Fisher teaches 10th grade at a high school whose name he declined to publicize. Before that, he taught as a professor. The classrooms he is in today, he let uh, let him see a system in collapse. So he's advocating how the system itself, because we have this one size fits all. Is one size fits all ever good in the free market? Typically not. And there's no competition. And this is what I want you guys to think about advocating for in your state, in your county, is competition. How do we get competition in the public sector? School choice, voucher system. I have yet to hear a good argument as to why vouchers are a net negative. Okay, because you can continue to go to the same school regardless, if you like your school. But it also incentivizes those teachers or that school system to maybe change if they're losing students and see why. But there is no competition. And guess what? They don't want it. I don't care what they say, they don't want competition. Okay. Fisher says 10th graders can't read. Most students don't want to participate, and teachers care more about woke indoctrination than addressing these issues, Fisher said. No doubt. Okay. A lot of parents, he says, assume that schools were the way they were when they went through. And this is something I've said about colleges. A lot of parents encourage their children to go to college, assuming it was the same thing as when they went through. Number one, and number two, they think of the economy back when they went through college. They thought it was a leg up. College was, and it's not as much anymore. Now you need a master's, a doctorate. It's this whole system to keep people in the education system, keep paying money, going into more debt. And he says parents have no idea how things have changed as far as curriculum and other things. Nearly 54% of parents of more than 3,800 surveyed have considered new schools for their children in the past year, the study found. Among parents aged 18 to 29, about 6 in 10 considered moving schools in the past year. And typically, what that has meant in the past, moving. It doesn't just, you can't just move schools. No, 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 no. You're stuck to a district. And if your school system sucks, you have to get up and move. Who do you think that disenfranchises the most? The poorest among us, people who cannot afford to move. Okay. So you got to think about the people who are advocating that you shouldn't have school choice, you shouldn't have competition. Who are they trying to help? The answer is themselves. It's not, uh, it's not cosmic. It says here, not all parents who considered a new school chose one or remained in the tension of making the choice, the study said. About 16% of all parents surveyed chose new schools. And these are parents that were surveyed in the last year about their public school experience. 11.3% considered doing so, but didn't, and 25.8% are considering one. And you got to think, so you might have 3 or 4 kids, and one student likes it and the other students don't. Yada yada. Okay. So here's where I think the rubber meets the road. The demand for good schools also can be a major driver of property taxes. The National Bureau of Economic Research found that every dollar spent on public schools increased the property value by $20. So 1 to 20. That's pretty insane. Moving can also have an emotional impact on children. Even if moving to a better school can eventually bring good results, it will likely hurt emotionally in the present. So, again, why can't we start with a voucher system where the parents choose the school? Because who has their best interests at heart? 99 times out of 100, it's the parent. Okay. Falling behind. So the proof is in the pudding at the end of the day. And think about the long term economic impacts of what I'm about to tell you. International rankings suggest parents may have good reason for disappointment in the U.S. education system. Compared to other countries, the U.S. ranks 32nd in student math skills, 14th in science, and 12th in reading among 41 countries surveyed by the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. These figures show a decline from the last survey of these countries. So, what are we getting? What are we getting for our money? Look at how much money is spent on public education. And what are we getting out of it? A lot of parents have chose to homeschool their children, but I think this is one of the biggest political footballs. Um, but the and also one of the biggest impacts you can make in your local community for change is advocating for school choice. It I have yet to hear why it hurts anybody, because if you want to stay at the school you're at, you can go, but all it does is increase competition, and it doesn't have this one size fits all model. And as we continue down this path, we're going to keep lowering our expectations and our abilities, I think, of the next generation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. See you all in the next one. Peace.